ready, we're feeling good, we're headed home. I do have some work to do this afternoon, but more fun plans are I'm on the hunt for a new journal and planner for work and personal, so we'll probably head back out later this afternoon to look for some of that stuff. Finished up my couple projects that I had to do for my day job. I just pulled into Target. We're on mission looking for a bullet journal and or planner for both my work and my personal. But specifically, I'm looking for a spiral one, especially for work, because I feel like I always want to fold the page back. And I've been buying those like hardcover bullet journals the last couple years, and it's just been really annoying because I can't fold it over. We're on mission. We're ready to go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we made it out of Target alive, and by some miracle, we spent less than $100. I actually pretty much only bought the things that I said I was gonna buy. So I'm very proud of myself. The only thing that I bought that I wasn't planning on necessarily buying are a pair of sunglasses, because mine broke. This little cat eye thing, I think is so adorable. So we got those. And then onto the planning things. So I picked out this one because A, it's pretty. It bends, which is very important to me. I don't like a stiff planner. It's spiral, and I love the way that this was set up. First of all, at the beginning of the year, there's a spot for like setting goals. Then it gives you a full calendar for the year, as well as a spot for notes, goals, and priorities. And then every single week, there's a weekly self-care plan box, a goals box, and then every day has like space to write, and then little check boxes for a to-do list. Oh, this is so cute. This is the April spread. Like, it's basically a bullet journal spread already done for me. And then for my actual job, I got this little mini planner, which is adorable. It's tabbed by month, and then it's very simple and very straightforward. So there's just like a thing at the beginning that's like a little calendar, and then every single week is space to write, and then like little dots for to-dos. Then I got a couple of supplies. So this is like a mini highlighter pack, which these are so cute. So they are little tiny like highlighters. And then finally I got a new little pencil case. This one I love because it has one half of it with like the little spots for pens, and then this little pocket. Then there's this other half that's just open space that I'm gonna use for my chargers and stuff. I can't wait to go home, start filling out my planner for January. Hello guys, it is 7 o'clock on New Year's Day. Justin just went to go pick us up some Thai food. I thought as part of this vlog, I could also do a finishing my first book of the year. In my last vlog, I started Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries, and I am a good chunk of the way into it now. I'm about 150 pages in. So I thought that we could finish it up together. I'll do a little writing and review, put it in my little reading journal, and kind of make that a little part of today's vlog. Tell me why I'm so invested in this little creature. Something just happened to one of the characters in this that I love. I'm so sad for him. It's too precious. I am really hoping to finish Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries today. That'll be my first read of 2025, and then we'll finish off this vlog by doing my reading journal, and then I'll do a little rating and review. I don't know what this dog is like cracked out about, but if he lets me read or if he just goes insane. Let's go finish this book. Okay, so I finished Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries last night, and I just took some time to gather my thoughts. I put them in my little reading journal. It was my first entry in my journal, which is so exciting. I have so many words to say about this book, so let's get into it. Beginning of the book, we start with Emily, who's writing an encyclopedia of fairies. So she is studying fairies from all over the world and taking notes and putting together this whole encyclopedia of fairy information. And so at the beginning of the book, she comes to this place where the fairies haven't really been studied before, and she comes to learn that the fairies that are in this area are pretty malicious in a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways in which they are harming the people of this country. And so Emily, being an academic scholar and wanting to study these fairies, starts to dig deeply into what is going on in this world and what is happening with the fairies and what they are doing and why, how they are interacting with the mortals, and why they seem to be causing these kinds of problems for the people that live here. So as our story moves on, we're introduced to a whole bunch of different side characters, including some of the townspeople. Emily befriends this common fae. He is my favorite character in this whole book. He's absolutely adorable. He lives in a tree in the wood and bakes bread, which is just the cutest thing ever. And then we also meet Emily's academic rival. She doesn't really want him to be helping her with her encyclopedia, but she also recognizes that there are ways in which she does need his help. So he comes into the story as well. I will say the plot of this book is not going to be the hook. This is a very slow moving plot until we get towards the end of the book, where the plot does start to pick up quite a bit. But I would absolutely categorize this as a cozy fantasy, meaning it is relatively low stakes for the majority of the plot, and it is very character driven and very atmosphere and setting driven. The thing that I really loved about this book is how much the author connects you to the characters in it. Our main character, Emily, has a lot of quirks and a lot of silly little things that she does that seem odd to the rest of the world, because she is so academically focused and so just invested in her studies and in what she is doing, sometimes to the point at which she doesn't make the best decisions and doesn't say all the right things to the people around her. She's very analytical. She thinks very logically and not always very emotionally. The other element of the story that I think is so good and so powerful is the theme of community and how these townspeople really band together in hard times, and how much they really accept Emily and her little bunch into their culture and into their world and pull them into their community just so freely and in such a welcoming manner. There's a lot of this that is just so beautiful to watch it unfold. A lot of people will critique this book because it is very informative. This did not bother me in any way, shape, or form, because it's written from her point of view as if it's journal entries that are ultimately supposed to help her write her encyclopedia. It makes so much sense that the text and the writing style and the voice would be extremely academic and analytical and logical.
and informative and not very touchy-feely emotional, because that's not who Emily is as a character. And so actually the biggest critique and the biggest thing that people would probably leave this book not liking is that style and that voice. And a lot of the times the voice can feel a little bit flowery, a little bit overwritten. However, this is actually not a critique that I have, because I believe that the author was very intentional about doing it this way so that we could have a window into Emily's mind. That is exactly what it felt like. Like I was getting a little bit of a picture into her mind and into the way that she thinks and processes. So at the end of the day, this book ended up being a 5 stars from me. And I did go back and forth on this a couple times as to whether or not I was going to give it a 5 star. There were a couple of parts that were slow. However, I was still enjoying my time the whole way through. And because of what I explained earlier about the narrative and the voice being very intentional, I decided that it wasn't worth bumping it down at all on my rating due to the slow moving plot, because of how intentional it is and how much it really did make sense within the story and for the character. This book had absolutely no spice, which was another element that I really, really loved. There is a romance subplot, but it is so minor. However, when we get it, it's so good. I was squealing and kicking my feet and loving it so much. There was some language, but it was so few and far between that I really didn't even notice it. If you love a fairy tale-esque story and you really like to be immersed in an atmospheric world, if you're looking for a wintry read that really just pulls you in and feels like a warm hug, brings you into a fairy tale land and makes you want to live there, if you're someone that really enjoys just very beautiful writing style and very flowery, drawn out writing, I would highly recommend Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries. Okay, that was my reading and review of Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries, and that is the end of this vlog. I've had so much fun taking you guys through my new year and just getting into some new habits and practices and reading my first book of the year with you. I cannot believe my first book of 2025 was a 5 star. This is going to be a great reading year. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you later. Bye.